bishop in a diocese is different in every location. And when I got here 12 years ago, I discovered we had an architect working in the diocesan offices, and I thought, this is pretty strange in terms of my experience of church. We're dealing with souls and kind of noble projects, and now we've got somebody who's taking care of our buildings. And as I got to learn the diocese better, we have a lot of old churches and things that are in need of continual repair. I learned that Andy Golges, our resident architect, is a wonderful resource for our diocese. Is very knowledgeable about caring for our buildings. And in the case of St. John the Baptist in Tipton, when we were no longer able to use that church and had to raise the church that had been there forever and to start building a new one, Andy was one of the guiding lights that helped people structure their thoughts and dream a little bit about what they wanted to do in replacing the church. So I'm really excited about the new St. John the Baptist Church in Tipton. I've been in there throughout its construction. It's a marvel. It's going to be a wonderful place for people now to share with themselves, their children, their grandchildren, way into the future. It's something for them to be proud of, and they will all tell you that faith built that church. A lot of skilled people helped to bring it to fruition, but faith was demonstrated by this wonderful community in Tipton.
I've been a parishioner my whole life. You have families that have many generations that have worshiped here over the years.
We had a fire. Ever since the fire, the building started wicking up water after the fire. Never did that before. And so we were constantly going back and repairing plaster. And we saw a crack up there. Oh, it's just one more spot. Well, it wasn't. It was a truss had shifted, and that caused structural damage. It caused all the other trusses to shift, and the price tag was too big to worth putting the repairs into it. Originally, people were upset. We didn't, at that time, did not know if our parish would continue or if we'd just get phased out and merged into another parish. So tons of emotions.
Anger, I'd say anger. Some people left.
It was devastating. It was difficult. It was hard for the parish. But in my conversations with the bishop, he was sincere about keeping a church here in Tipton County.
So the bishop said, we're going to build new.
I think everybody was very nervous. Can we do it? The early parishioners mortgaged their homes to be able to build the church that we had to tear down. There was that sense of, we have to do something for them. You know, they did all that for us. Now we have to do this for the next generation.
Andy Golges is an architect himself. He is, of course, head of the building and facilities department for the whole diocese. And in fact, he looks after every church, every rectory, every school and building in the whole diocese.
Andy Golges has helped us in every step of the way, from choosing our architect, choosing our contractor. He set up the interviews. He taught us what kinds of questions to ask them. When you're talking 288 families, giving this amount of money, the responsibility of knowing you wanted every cent spent wisely, being able to look each parishioner in the face as to how the money was spent, he helped relieve that burden because we didn't know what we were doing.
Yeah, we'll get it right on the next church.
This is very emotional for us. This is very emotional for us.
What does it feel like now looking at this?
Oh, it's just, it's overwhelming. I mean, it's awesome, it's fulfilling. So, but it's just cool to see everything coming back. The architect did an awesome job of keeping the old style look, you know, and I think that's important to all the parishioners. We salvaged all our windows. We got our shrines back right where they used to be.
We saved everything, absolutely everything.
If it wasn't tied down, we saved it, and some things were tied down, we saved them anyway.
I think for the history. I think for the history, to know our great-great-grandparents, you know, worshiped with these items, I think it's the history. But it was also, there were a few that wanted new and modern, and I think both sides are well represented. We have the modern facility with the elegance of the older items.
So when people walk in, it will look very familiar.
Coming home.
Coming home.